Hello, feel free to ignore whatever gameplay I decide to put in the background of this. It has nothing to do really with what I'm going to talk about. So, for this you're going to need a phone, you're going to need Signal, you're going to need autocorrect, and you're going to need at least one contact basically. So, there's sort of a few levels to what I'm going to explain, and obviously if you've seen the title it's going to be something like autocorrect game or autocorrect random text generator or something. So me and my friends have this weird sort of tradition of sending each other really random texts which seem to make no sense. And this sort of happens every now and again, especially if one of us knows someone else is drunk, we send them loads of random texts and they get really confused and it's all hilarious. But that happens a bit, and it's also just to confuse people. So I was texting Sophie and she said something and I was confused and I went to say what, and I decided to put a Y in it because, you know, random letters and words, and it corrected it to what yurt, and I just sent it. I saw it and I was like, that makes sense, sent it, and she was like, what? And I was like, but what yurt? And sort of around that time I realised that I can generate really random texts by just hitting random buttons, random letters on my iPhone and then sending it. I'm saying my iPhone because the iPhone autocorrect is really like over eager, so it will autocorrect everything. So I can just hit like about 6 letters and it will correct it to a random word pretty much. And I can do this a few times and make a random sentence. And then I've experimented a little bit with adding punctuation in, because then it makes it look more like a sentence and seem to make sense. So we have weird things like a chaos slap and stuff like that has just been sent. And I sent a few random texts to Sophie, and she found it quite funny. And she was like, what's happening? And I was like, guess. And then she started sending them back, and I was like, she's worked it out. And so we did that, and we were like, this is hilarious. And then we sent a load to one of my friends, and he was like, what's going on? So I've been thinking about that, and it's given me this idea for a sort of autocorrect game. The sort of first level of this is, once you've watched this video, you can do any of the levels, whatever. It's just, the first sort of level of this is just sending random text to your friend, and then they'll be really confused and they'll be like, what's happening? And this is obviously going to work a lot better for teenagers who do this sort of thing, who just send random text to people. So you send some random text to a friend, he is like, what's happening? Then I'm saying, but obviously it's your choice, you can use this however you want, that you shouldn't give away what's happening. So when he's like, what's going on, how are you doing this, blah blah blah, you need to sort of hint at it. So I'm going to call this something like autocorrect game, so ACG, or like autocorrect Duel, or random text generator, I thought random text generator was RTS then, but it's RTG. So sort of send them acronyms like that, or sort of hint at what's going on, and then see if they can find either this video or a post someone else has made about it. And then obviously once they figure out what's going on, they will text you back, and then hilarity can ensue. But then I realised that what else you can do with this, and this is the sort of second level, once you both know what's going on, it's not so funny or surprising anymore. I realised you could actually play a game with this, if you're really that bored. And basically you can sort of decide a game where you're going to send something, then they're going to send something back. That's the sort of general gist of it. But what I'm sort of proposing, I guess, but what I was thinking about is, if we say a number of letters, so I'd say about 6 letters, and then I hit 6 random letters and send it, then if it's auto-corrected, that's fine, and then you get the text basically, and then you hit 6 letters, send it back, and it gets auto-corrected, and this keeps going on. And you lose if what you type in isn't auto-corrected, so it just stays as random letters, or if it's auto-corrected to a word that's been seen before, or if it's auto-corrected to something completely like just random letters. So this is obviously, you could play like house rules, I guess, or something. And you could say 8 letters, 12 letters, 4 letters, whatever. And you can also say like what counts, so you could say only things that are in a dictionary. I'd say, to make it easier, and because everyone's autocorrect is different, especially on iPhones because it remembers stuff, I'd say anything that's autocorrected that makes sense. So something like GRA, if it gets, that's great, but it's obviously not correct spelling. But if it gets autocorrected to that, that's fine because it makes sense. Something like just random letters, though, you lose. And also, if it gets auto-corrected into 2 different words, that's fine. But if either of those words have come up before in this little battle, I'm going to call this like an autocorrect battle maybe, or an autocorrect duel, then you lose. So that's the sort of second level if you want to do that. And I realised you can take this a step further, and now this is getting sort of ridiculous. I imagine most people will just do the first thing and send random text to people and confuse them. But I realised that if you do this and you beat so someone is going to have to introduce you to this, basically. Then if you, say, battle them or whatever, and you do this thing, and then you beat them, then if they give you the number of the person, or if they say the person that introduced them, you can go back through it and see who was the sort of first person out of your string of friends or whatever to actually find this. So you do that and you battle them all and you beat them all, and then if you do that, this isn't so much for you as much for me. If you do that, please tell me about it. Say oh, I battled 20 of my friends, and I figured out this was almost the last one, and he found it on the internet. And also how he found it or whatever would be good. And also if you're oh, I had this did this one and it lasted half an hour, sort of thing. So that's that. So I'm gonna read a few of them out. I think actually I might go for that. So this is sort of the autocorrect game, I'm going to call it, and then say an autocorrect duel where you play against someone. But the main thing is to take away from this is to remember that you can just type random letters in and send them off to people, and send random text, and explore punctuation, because punctuation makes it seem a lot more legit, you've legitimately had this idea for this really random text, as opposed to no punctuation. You sort of end up with someone just being they've used a random word generator. So if you want to stick with me, I'll just read a few out. Where are they all? Okay, so here's where I begin. I said what year, and then I realised I could do it. And the first one I got signed chief acknowledgement alchemists go hand. And then I was I just discovered the best thing or whatever. And then I was yes. And then she started sending them back. She was helpful Akashi, and she was social jaundice, quay also sown, Aldo known of student shell hewn. Obviously you don't have to send them all, and you can sort of get something interesting did J shaped is lake, which was really quite strange. And then we had a chaos slap, which was quite nice. Snacks fraud is dockage shock. It's just really quite strange. Let's distress English students. I think that might, shapely chaos slap us. Profound auto. That's just a few. You might be thinking that if you duel someone, it'll go on for ages, but you, for some reason, always get auto-corrected to things beginning with A and things beginning with S. I've had alchemy come up 6 or 7 times, and I've only said I don't know, 30 texts maybe, max. So that's that. Feel free to comment and thumbs this up if you think it's a good idea. Also comment if you have any better ideas for rules or anything like that, or just generally what you think, and also if you've done this with someone and something funny has happened. Or if you're on a phone and you want to comment on this, just type some random words in and do it that way. Also, if you like this, subscribe for more, although we don't usually do this sort of thing. This is sort of a one-off, but there's other funny stuff we've done. So that's that. Alright, and share this with your friends, not necessarily video, I mean just texting them random stuff. Alright, bye.